Coming up on Vegas Nation Blitz, we discuss proposed NFL rule changes, we'll take a look inside Allegiant Stadium to see the latest updates, and we hear from a Raider who can't wait to get to Las Vegas. All of that and more coming up on Vegas Nation Blitz.
Excited to know where we're going to be playing, and excited to have a city that is excited about having us.
We are now the Las Vegas Raiders.
Everyone to another episode of Vegas Nation Blitz. I'm your host, Cassie Soto. NFL teams have received a list of potential rule changes that could be made for the 2020 season, and will vote on it on May 28th. So here to give us a breakdown of some of those proposals is Las Vegas Review-Journal Raiders beat writer Vinny Bonsignore. Vinny, a proposal put forth by the Philadelphia Eagles sort of gives an alternative to the onside kick. Can you give us more about that?
Yeah, in the NFL's attempt to make the game safer, they changed some rules formation-wise on the kickoffs. And what it essentially did, unfortunately, was really negated a useful tool that teams can use in comeback situations, which is the onside kick. And that pretty much negated the onside kick as a viable tool. To me, I love it because it brings some strategy into the game. Coaches are going to be coaching up, the best ways to get 15 yards for a first down. And it, I think, will add some excitement in late game situations.
Well, Vinny, the Broncos actually proposed something similar to this last year, but it was shot down by league owners. Do we think that there's some momentum this time around to get this thing approved?
I think so, and I think the coaches are in favor of it. The coaches always love to coach things up, and if you tell them, hey, you've got now a way to try to get back into a game, and here's a situation, got to make 15 yards, they're going to go into the lab and figure out the best ways to be able to do that, utilizing their personnel.
Well, honing in on the Raiders now, Vinny, you recently spoke with some players. You wrote an article for us over at reviewjournal.com where fans can check out at any time. And you try to find sort of the silver lining with these guys, asking them what they've been up to, how are virtual OTAs going. What did they have to say about what they're doing to stay in shape during these times?
Officially, we do know that, there's the virtual OTAs. What is that? Well, that's 4 days a week, 2 hours a day, Monday through Thursday. Unofficially, players have to get creative in trying to stay in shape and to develop some chemistry. And here in Las Vegas, there's a bunch of guys that now live in Las Vegas full time. So they've decided to take it upon themselves to get a little creative. They break up in groups and they gather at a teammate's house to go work out. There might be a gym that somebody that knows somebody. They also go to local parks as an offense. And sometimes you'll see 15, 20 guys out there, throw the ball around and just trying to stay, like you said, fit. And they want to be clear, they're adhering to all social distancing rules and regulations. They're not, taking any chances. They're being responsible.
All right, Vinny. Well, thanks so much for that update. Well, let's go ahead now and bring in our very own social media manager, Adrian Iadarko. Adrian, the Raiders are staying busy and are continuing to make roster moves, adding this time a veteran cornerback. What can you tell us about that addition?
Yeah, so the Raiders just signed veteran cornerback Prince Amukamara, came over from the Bears. And they just posted a highlight video on their Instagram. And what sticks out to me is he's getting his hands on a lot of balls. So he's stripping the ball out, getting pass breakups, interceptions. So if he can bring this ball hawk mentality to the Raiders defense, that'll be a huge plus for them. Also, his veteran leadership, I think, will be key for a young Raiders secondary.
Yeah, well, it'll be great to see his new face along with everybody picking up some cornerbacks, obviously, this year's draft with the brand new draft class. Well, a face that Vegas fans might recognize already is Golden Knights enforcer Ryan Reeves. Adrian, he hopped on Raiders social media platforms and said that he is a part of the Raider Nation as well. Let's take a listen to that.
Actually, Jerry Rice fan. I love the uniforms, the silver and black, and it was just like, it was that mean team. And, you start looking up the story of the franchise, and I fell in love with it. Big fan of Abram. I know he only played the one game. That was him in Hard Knocks. He said, I just want to hit somebody. He was running around in training camps. Like, I just want to hit somebody, coach. I can relate to that. So I'm a big fan of his. Big fan of Jacobs. I used to play running back when I was younger. So those are my boys. I got to pick one of those jerseys.
Well, Adrian, if hockey season doesn't start back up, do we think John Gruden might sign Ryan Reeves to a one-day contract or something? He looks like he's ready to go.
Yeah, I think he's ready. I mean, he's obviously a tough player from playing hockey. He can probably hit. He actually said his favorite player on the team is Jonathan Abram right now. So I'm with him on that. I think Abram can really be a bright spot for the Raiders defense and kind of get a redo on his rookie year. So I'm excited to see him play. Hopefully he can stay healthy this year. So I just love how he said his fandom started with Jerry Rice. I'm a big Jerry Rice fan too. And he kind of fell in love with the silver and black. So nice to see the chemistry already starting between the Vegas Golden Knights and the Raiders.
All right, Adrian, thank you so much. Well, fans, you will want to stick around after the break because I will be joined by Las Vegas Raiders running back Jalen Richard, and we talk about his excitement of moving to Las Vegas. Stay with us. Who is the Raiders' all-time leading rusher? Is it A, Marcus Allen, B, Clem Daniels, C, Napoleon Kaufman, or D, Mark Van Egan? Find out the answer later on in the show. Welcome back, everyone, to Vegas Nation Blitz. I'm your host, Cassie Soto, where we are excited this week to be joined by Las Vegas Raiders running back Jalen Richard. Jalen, thank you so much for taking some time.
No, I appreciate you having me.
All right. Well, huge congratulations are in order for you, Jalen. You and your wife welcomed a brand new baby girl, your second baby girl, #GirlDad for you, yeah. Jalen. And you yourself went ahead and got a business degree from Harvard. How have you sort of been handling this quarantine with some great news coming for you? And really, what inspired you to get that degree from Harvard?
Well, it was a program through the NFL that I had seen through our NFL engagement, and I was very interested. I was like, man, it's Harvard. I had already did the finance camp, like going into my second year in Miami, and I saw the Harvard thing. I was like, who wants to pass Harvard up? I ended up having to miss the Super Bowl to go out there and do the jumpstart day for the program. But really what just sparked my whole interest is just continuing to try to gain knowledge on business, gain knowledge on finances, and understanding that I've made some money and I want to be able to keep it, and understanding that I have some ideas and creative things flowing in my mind, and I want to be able to act on those in the right way.
Well, moving on now to sort of on the field stuff. You were signed as an undrafted free agent for the Raiders back in 2016, and we have definitely seen a bit of roster turnover since then. Jalen, what do you think that John Gruden really sees in you both on and off the field to keep you a part of this roster?
I would say he sees somebody that whatever they ask me to do, I'll find a way to get the job done. Whatever my role is, whatever my role needs to be, I'll do that, and I'll maximize that to the T. I feel like I can do just about anything, and I'll just go out there and make plays, man. Within my job, within my role, just go out there and be explosive.
Well, speaking of that role, Jalen, coming into this season, do you sort of see yourself taking on any extra leadership roles, being that the running back core is a pretty young group of guys?
Definitely. I feel like just because I'm getting up there in age and in football years, and going on my fifth year, you consider somewhat of a vet by then, and just that leadership role of guys just coming with an open mind, just asking me questions about anything, whether it's how to be a pro, how to handle this off the field, the things of finances, and really just expand all of their talents at this level, really on and off the field. I'll take that leadership role.
Yeah, well, speaking of those young guys, your team drafted some really new, good offensive weapons for your quarterback, Derek Carr, there in this past draft class. What are your thoughts on the draft class, and how do you think they can expand the team and make you guys that much better coming into Las Vegas?
Henry Ruggs, he's going to be able to open up a lot. He's going to be able to, and DC's going to be able to get the ball to him over the top. I trust Mayock and Gruden. Obviously, you saw what our rookies did last year, and I expect nothing different from the guys this year. I think our rookies are going to be a big impact again. Obviously, we got the DBs, we got they'll play a lot. The Lynn Bowden be moving around. We got Henry Ruggs that'll just give us so much, another weapon on offense.
Well, I know you've been pretty active on social media lately, Jalen, so I'm sure you've seen the progress over at Allegiant Stadium, your future home building. How excited are you to get into Allegiant Stadium and to get to Las Vegas, get into work?
I'm crazy excited. First of all, zero taxes, so I ain't got to worry about California no more. With the taxes, cost of living is cheaper too. So, I could probably give me a little something with a little pool, and with the Raiders, we have a decent in Alameda, had a up-to-date weight room by the time I got there. That's what's really exciting for me, is that I finally feel like I'm finna go somewhere where it's all state-of-the-art, all new.
Well, how excited are you to not be tackled on a baseball diamond anymore, more importantly?
Super excited about that, because that eats through anything. It don't matter what you got on. You can have on Teflon. It's eating through pads. I seen it take a chunk out of somebody's helmet before, I'm telling you.
Oh, you got battle wounds? You bringing Oakland battle wounds with you to Vegas?
Oh, yeah, I got Oakland battle wounds, all from scratches. I mean, it's eating through whatever. As soon as it touches, it's gone, skin and all.
Well, for you yourself, being born and raised in Louisiana, Jalen, I have to ask, how pumped are you for that Monday night football game, home opener of Allegiant Stadium versus the Saints?
Oh, I'm pumped about every game, but definitely I'm pumped about that one because, I got a lot of family that's finally going to want to come to they want to come to that one. They want to definitely make sure they make that one. And I've been away from home, and California is just so far. But, now Vegas, everybody want to come to Vegas now. So I'm excited for that game because, I'm pretty sure that week I'll be around family up into the game. And it's always fun when you're around family.
Yeah, you're going to have to buy a big house out here with extra rooms without that zero tax there. Jalen, how's all the family?
I heard that some of the hotels got great deals on, on rooms.
You're gonna put your mom in a hotel room? What is wrong?
Not my mom. She can stay at the house.
Right, Jalen. Well, thank you so much. We can't wait to see you and the family out here in Las Vegas.
Can't wait.
Well, once again, that was Las Vegas Raiders running back Jalen Richard. Coming up next, our very own Vegas Nation podcast host Heidi Fang will be joined by NFL reporter Adam Hill. Stay with us. The answer is A, Marcus Allen. The Hall of Famer rushed for 8,545 yards and 79 touchdowns with the silver and black.
Welcome back to the Vegas Nation Blitz. I'm your Vegas Nation podcast host, Heidi Fang, joined with our NFL writer, Adam Hill. We're going to break down some of the latest props that have been released for players with the Raiders organization. At the quarterback position here, we're seeing Carr with 3,999.5 passing yards for the season and a line of 17.5 total touchdowns. So what does this really mean?
It's clear that there's a belief in these numbers that Derek Carr is not starting 16 games for the Raiders this season. Now, whether that is because, at some point the Raiders decide to give Marcus Mariota a shot or because Derek Carr gets injured, whatever the reason could be, that is what these numbers are based on. So if you're of the belief that Derek Carr is starting 16 games this season and he's the starting quarterback all throughout the season, you might want to run over to the sportsbook as soon as it's open and get down on these numbers, because it's clear if he plays a full season, he's going to surpass these totals. But I think there's a strong belief that if he doesn't get it done this season, if he's not clearly taking a step forward and taking over as that franchise guy that they want to have for the next 5 or 6 years, then they might give Mariota a shot to say, hey, what do we have in this guy? Is this the guy? Or then do we have to get a whole new plan going forward?
We have to look as well at the wide receiver and tight end, because those numbers to me are very interesting. For Ruggs right now, you see a total 699.5 total yards on the season. And for Waller, it's 799.5 yards on the season, which leads me to believe that the sports books are still looking to the tight end to be the lead receiver on the year. Adam, what do you make of these numbers?
I think it's pretty clear that Waller is looked at as the number one receiver in this offense, and with good reason. One of the most talented tight ends in the entire league, had a breakout season last year, can put up big numbers. And I think when you look at all this talent around him, it might take away some of his opportunities, but it also might take away some of the focus defensively. He could have a big season. And with Ruggs, yeah, I think if you're, a first-round pick, wide receiver, you're looking to put up big numbers in that first year, but it's not an easy adjustment to the NFL. I think you might look at the under on him just because I think he could be a very good player, a very impactful player. But with them spreading the ball the way that they do, I think he goes under that total, and I think you might look at Waller over. It is a tough adjustment for a rookie to go into the NFL.
Great stuff there, Adam. Certainly appreciate you breaking this all down for us, and we will be back next week for the Blitz. But for right now, let's go ahead and check out this moment in Raiders history. For this edition of Raiders History, the Review Journal Sports Mind selected the top players to ever be drafted by the Raiders. At number 3, Ken Stabler. The Raiders' second all-time leading passer, just behind current quarterback Derek Carr, was selected by the Oakland Raiders in the second round of the 1968 NFL Draft. As a Raider, Stabler threw for 150 touchdowns and had 19,078 passing yards. After becoming the starter in 1973, the four-time Pro Bowler led the Raiders to 5 consecutive AFC Championship games. On January 9, 1977, the Raiders won their first Super Bowl, defeating the Minnesota Vikings with Ken Stabler under center. He was also NFL MVP Offensive Player of the Year and led the NFL in touchdowns in 1974. He led the NFL in touchdowns and passer rating in 1976. Number 2, Gene Upshaw. Gene Upshaw was selected at number 17 overall by the Raiders in 1967 and spent his entire 15-season career with the team. The 7-time Pro Bowler and Hall of Fame offensive guard is the only player to ever compete in a Super Bowl in 3 different decades with the same team. In their Super Bowl 11 win, the Raiders set a record which has since been broken, gaining 426 total yards, largely due in part to Upshaw overpowering his defenders. Upshaw also spent 25 years as the executive director of the NFLPA. He was regarded as a trailblazer who helped to establish benefits, retirement plans, free agency, and more for the betterment of players. Number 1, Marcus Allen. With the 10th pick in the 1982 NFL Draft, the Raiders selected Heisman Trophy winner Marcus Allen. Allen played 16 seasons in the NFL, 11 of those with the Raiders. As a Raider, Allen went to the Pro Bowl 5 times, was the Super Bowl 28 MVP, and was named NFL MVP in 1985. Allen was also the first player in the NFL to ever rush for 10,000 career yards and collect 5,000 receiving yards. Marcus Allen held the Raiders' record for most rushing yards by a rookie with 708, a milestone he achieved in a season that was abbreviated due to a player strike until that number was surpassed by Josh Jacobs in 2019. Allen was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2003. Honorable mentions went to Art Shell, Jim Otto, Tim Brown, Fred Biletnikoff, Howie Long, Lester Hayes, and Charles Woodson. And that will do it for this edition of Raiders History. We'll be back next week.
Welcome back, everyone, to Vegas Nation Blitz. Well, the road ahead for the Raiders and Allegiant Stadium could possibly include a train track, as Virgin Trains is looking to connect Southern California and Las Vegas to bring Raiders fans in on game day. Here to tell some more about that is our very own Allegiant Stadium insider and transportation reporter for the Las Vegas Review-Journal, Mick Akers. Mick, I feel like as long as I've lived in Vegas, there have been talks about a train from Southern California to Las Vegas, but it's never come to fruition. Are things finally rolling on this guy?
Yeah, this has been in talks for over a decade now. So obviously with Brightline coming in and then bringing Virgin Trains in along the way, looks like, that actually is going to happen. They got most of the funding ready to go via private activity bonds issued through California and the US DOT. So they're just waiting on Nevada to approve their $200 million, which they can leverage up to $800 million on selling bonds in the private market. So they're just waiting on that to happen. So once that occurs, all the funding's in place, and they just got to sell those bonds, which they believe they can do. They just got to do that before October 31st. So once that occurs, they can go ahead and get those stakes in the ground, and they're looking to get this thing going construction-wise at the end of this year.
Well, what are some of the logistics here, Mick? Where would the train drop off? How many passengers can it hold? And how long would the train ride be?
Yeah, so it would be about 90-minute, ride from Victorville. So, which is, not in LA. So everyone's kind of complaining about that. So obviously it's going to serve people coming in from California to Vegas more than anything else. So it's going to run in the middle of the I-15 until it hits Nevada, and then it'll go to the east side of the 15 until it gets to the station here, where it's supposed to be at Warm Springs and Las Vegas Boulevard, not too far away from the stadium and across the street from a parking lot where you can park and ride to the stadium. So it's kind of a perfect position to be in. They had this, kind of in the works for a while, so it just ended up working out, being the right place at the right time. You can fit about 600 people in the whole train set. They're looking to begin this with about one train leaving every hour, and they're going to push that up, when it's at full use at about 25 to 35 minutes. So also talks of, having game day specific rides kind of tied to the start times and the end times of games. They kind of similar to Brightline's that service they have out there in Miami from the Miami Heat games.
When do we expect that this could be fully operational?
Yeah, so they hope to have that going in toward the end of 2023. So obviously, it won't be right when the stadium opens. But any kind of mass transit they can have coming in from Southern California, when there's a lot of Raider fan anyway. I think this will be beneficial to Las Vegas and the stadium as well.
All right, Mick, thanks so much for the update.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching this week's edition of Vegas Nation Blitz. If you're looking for more information on the Raiders, head on over to vegasnation.com or download the free Vegas Nation app, where you will find videos, stories, everything you need to know. Also our podcast, Vegas Nation Podcast, hosted by our very own Heidi Fang, vegasnation.com or the Vegas Nation app. Thank you so much for watching Vegas Nation Blitz. I'm your host, Cassie Soto.